Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up, then run it back.
Happy Wednesday. We're back. This is Run It Back. Lou, Chandler, myself. Guys, we have a lot of basketball to talk about. We also have Rajon Rondo coming on a little bit later in the show. Yay, he's back. But we will start with the Lakers. Oh yes, LeBron leads the team. His 9th triple-double of the season. 121st of his career. He had 21, 13, and 10. They crushed the Wizards, obviously. Anthony Davis with 29 and 16. But then, yeah, the dunk. Let's watch his dunk one more time, because I want to know if you think the dunk is better or if Bronny's reaction is better in the moment. Wait, where did the dunk go?
Run it back.
Again? Run it back. All right, so yeah, because there's some reaction going on. I mean, it is silly.
I got to go with the dunk here, Michelle, being better. I mean, this is crazy. He's never ceases to amaze me. The dude just keeps doing things like this that are nuts. And I will say, the whole Bron thing, when something like this happens, I love it. Like, I think it's so cool.
He played like a minute and a half on it.
I think it's so cool that he's just there on the floor celebrating his pops. I don't think this is going to get old. What about you, Lou?
No, this is great, man. This is, when you get to 40 years old and you're still catching bodies and you can do it with your son on your team and celebrating you, it can't be a better feeling than that.
That's the new thing. It's like too small, and that's when you get...
It's because it's like condescending and
Watch
rude.
your head.
Is that what that... Like, that feels not right.
Top of the head.
Okay, yeah,
Watch it. Watch
like
top of
two
your head.
different messages.
Like,
You don't know what you're doing. There's a report, because we're obviously one day closer, trade deadline. A lot of people maybe going to do something, maybe not. A report from The Athletic says that they're more likely to stand pat or make a half measure, which is interesting, than go all in on a big move. If you're LeBron, though, Lou, you hear this today or yesterday. What are you thinking?
Yeah, well, based on his recent comments, you know, he's like, hey, this is how this team is constructed. This is who we are moving forward. And, you know, and the Lakers brass has basically said we're not going to jump out the window and go get any of these guys that are available. You know, they're telling you they're not really interested in what's out there in the market. They don't really feel like those guys can shift where the Lakers are in this season. So as a result, we're just going to stay pat. We're going to stick with the guys that we have, and we're going to continue to develop our young talent. You know, a guy like Austin Reeves, who's having a great year, who Chandler was criticized for saying he was a 15-5 guy. End up having a 15-5 year. Now this year,
that was better, yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and now this year he's playing even better. But you can develop somebody like this and like, hey, if we're not going to make a real splash, we're not going to give ourselves an absolute opportunity to win championships, to compete for a championship, then we might as well stay where we are and develop the guys that are in uniform already.
Yeah, if I'm LeBron, if I'm Anthony Davis, I'm a little frustrated just because you understand that this team built is talented, right? They're going to win a lot of games just based on their roster and the way LeBron's playing and the way Anthony Davis is capable of playing, the year Austin Reeves is having. But this team's not built to win a championship right now. So it is a little frustrating knowing that, okay, LeBron at this point of his career probably shouldn't be a number 1 or number 2 option on a championship team. It's just probably not reasonable to say at 40 years old.
You shouldn't have to depend on that.
You shouldn't have to do that. Yeah. So yeah, I do think they are a star away and a couple other pieces away, because at the end of the story, at the end of the day, they're a 6 seed and they're 4 games over 500. So you're staying pat for what? Every team should be looking reasons to get better. Every team should be looking to put the championship team together and fill in the pieces. They moved off D'Lo, which I think was a good thing, even though Dorian Finney-Smith, I love him. He's a Florida Gator. I love him. I think he was more of a lateral move. I don't think he moved the needle for them to be to a championship contender. I like him for the future. And again, they have a lot of pieces, but who can they get right now that makes them a championship team? Who can they get off of? Are they going to get off Gabe Vincent, Austin Reeves, and literally not have a point guard on the roster after that? Like, are they going to get off Rui? Are they going to go? So it all depends on who they're ready to get off. And I don't think it's Austin Reeves at this point in their career. He's 18-6-4 this year. He's continuing to progress. I just don't know who that we've heard, at least what names we've heard that can put them over the top right now.
I think it's just seeing it in writing or sort of just reading that they're going to stand pat or quote unquote make a half measure. The half measure part's a little bit.
What is a half measure, by the way?
Right. What does that mean exactly?
It's like Valanciunas,
adding a Valanciunas? Is that a half? By the way, how would you like to be him? You're referred to as a half.
But if you're like the Rockets or you're like the Grizzlies, you're one of these young building teams and you're still winning games, then they should stay pat. They shouldn't just, like the Thunder should stay pat. They should not disrupt anything. The Lakers, they should probably make a move.
So We think they should make a move before the trade deadline, even though they're saying maybe this is a decoy. Maybe they are planning on doing something crazy.
There you have it. So if they want to win a championship this year, they need to do something.
Yeah, I agree with that. There are teams that are doing things. The Suns have been very, very, very active, acquiring 3 first-round picks from the Jazz. All that for an unprotected 2031. Dear God, that's a long time from now. It will triple the number of first-round picks they have at their disposal, which looks like perhaps maybe that they're paving the way for a larger trade. Lou, everyone was looking at Jimmy Butler's shoes yesterday. You said yesterday the Suns aren't good. Are we looking at something about to happen here? And if so, does it make them good?
Yeah, it looks like Jimmy Butler is basically a Phoenix Sun with the way that he's going about his hair colors and his shoes, right? So you know, I don't know. I think if you add a Jimmy Butler, though, that gives them more of a balanced offense. You know, Jimmy is one of those guys that can be impactful. He doesn't have to have the basketball in his hands. He doesn't have to be a scorer. You know, this is somebody that went into practice, made it a point to not score the basketball to show how he can impact winning without doing that. So if you add him with Devin Booker and Kevin Garnett, you give them a third option of somebody who may play defense full court in a Drew Holiday-esque type of role. You find somebody who's going to rebound, who's going to do all the dirty work, who's going to do all of those things. So I think that gives them a better balance. I still don't know if that's enough to get them back in contention to get in the playoffs, though.
I think a team. We're just gonna let that slide.
What'd I do?
You said Kevin Garnett.
Did I say Kevin Garnett?
I knew what you meant.
Me too, bro.
I'm a good teammate.
It caught me off guard.
My
bad. It caught me off guard.
It's early, man. What do you want me to do? I don't get much sleep.
I just think a team that's struggling this much just needs a change, right? And I don't know if that change is to commit to Jimmy Butler for years to come, who has proven to be disruptive pretty much everywhere he's been. And this guy's painting his hair. Like, clearly he loves this.
Shoes.
He loves the attention. The shoes last night, like,
doing?
honestly, enough. Like, I just want something to happen so we can stop seeing these antics. But again, it could also just be a possible lease. You make a trade for Jimmy, and then it's just the rest of the season, and it doesn't work.
Don't we think it probably is a lease?
Yeah, then you just got off Brad Beal for nothing, which clearly that's not working anyway, so I don't know if that's the end of the world. So I don't know. With not having success with this big three, with an aging Kevin Durant, I don't know.
Even Jimmy's aging.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know if bringing in Jimmy Butler is like this. I think anything right now to change what they're doing helps temporarily, but I don't know if he's the permanent fix.
It's like when you chew gum, it loses its taste. You add a little bit of sugar and it revamps the taste. It's the same gum.
It's exactly.
You just get a moment of better. Is all that is. The Beal side of it, we all know he has the power here, but now he's reportedly willing to waive the no trade clause, and there are some teams he's willing to talk about. Milwaukee is one of the ones that keeps popping up. Do you like the idea from the Milwaukee side?
From the Milwaukee side, I like it just because, again, I think Middleton would have to be involved in this trade, so you can get off Middleton, who's been hurt, who's been banged up. Bradley Beal, I like it more than Jimmy Butler. He's younger, he's more in his prime, he provides more shooting to play alongside Dame and Giannis, so I do think it's interesting here, but then again, if this doesn't work and you're stuck with that contract and you're committed to Bradley Beal for the next 2 or 3 years with an aging Damian Lillard and Giannis, and that could also be a disaster. So it's interesting. I do like it now because I think Milwaukee is a couple things away from really being a contender in the Eastern Conference, and I think Bradley Beal provides.
I don't think it's a scorer, though. I don't think they need more scoring.
I just think he provides more than a Chris Middleton right now at this point of their career. So I think it does make them better right now, but. Again, it's just like a home run. Oh yeah, we got Brad Beal. Let's go get it.
What is the one thing that they lost from making them a championship team to now where we're talking about them?
Drew Holiday.
Defense and Drew Holiday. Why are we still going out looking for more scoring? Go out, find somebody who wants, like we just mentioned with Phoenix, go out and find somebody who wants to do the dirty work. You got plenty of scoring. You got Dame Lillard and you got Giannis. You got guys that can put the ball in the basket, and until then, you still got Chris Middleton. Go out and find some guys that want to do the dirty work, that want to dive in the crowd, that wants to be a Pat Bev, a Drew Holiday type of guy that's going to go out there and impact winning, and I don't have to score a basket to do it.
It's just tough. Whoever, I guess, acquires Jimmy, like, you got to assign him to an extension. It's got to be like a future. That's got to be it. That's got to be it.
Doing that?
I'm just saying it's got to be it. No way I'm doing this for a 3-month rental for the rest of the season if I don't know I'm at least keeping him for years to come.
I know, but that's
where you're just hedging your bets on competing for a championship this year, and you'll deal with everything else in the summer.
Hope it works out.
And just hope
So the
it works
idea
out.
is you're going to be out tons and tons of money regardless. You just have to decide which path.
It's like Dallas and Kyrie. Like, that didn't work out first. Then last year, they end up in the Western Conference Finals. So those kind of things take time. But again, that was a risk for Dallas to take on Kyrie Irving, and it looked like it panned out last year.
Yeah.
So again, I think any team that does it with his history, it's definitely going to be a risk. But he's also extremely talented. He can help pretty much every other team win right now.
Wait, is there a world, like if Jimmy Butler this whole thing just plays out, I'm just trying to figure out, let's just take away any of the rules. What team in the league wants to pay Jimmy Butler at his age the money that he's expected to make the next couple of years? That's my question. Because that to me is big.
And well, yeah, and again, he could also just opt into that big number next year and kind of do this all over again. But then, can you imagine if we have to go through this again with Jimmy doing this all next season? So
with
I don't know.
New color shoes.
Yeah, like I said, he is obviously talented. He is a heck of a basketball player, and he can help most teams win games. It's just the other stuff that's proven to be a distraction with him.
Oh man, yeah, I'm with you. I kind of hope this gets done so that we can move on and see how it all looks. The dunk contest, we got a little bit of news out of that. According to reports, Spurs guard STEPHON Castle, Bulls rookie forward Matis Buzelis have both committed to two of the 4 spots in the contest during NBA All-Star Weekend. Guys, does this do anything for you? Does it move the needle?
I mean, I love that Castle doing it. And look, these are going to be the type of guys that have to do the dunk contest. It's younger, rising star type players that we don't really know as household names yet. They're not the most famous players. They're not the richest, biggest contracts yet. These are the guys that will do it. And I will say, I watched Matis work out this summer. He's an absolute freak. And I don't even know why he's not playing much in Chicago. He's one of their building block pieces for the future. And you look at Castle, and he's obviously had a heck of a year. He's most likely going to win Rookie of the Year now with Jared McCain out. So it's cool to see good players doing the dunk contest. Now, do we still want to see the Jaws and the Ants and all that? Yes, of course. I just don't know how that's going to happen. But I'm telling you right here, this kid, it's a sleeper. He's tall, so it doesn't look as cool when a small guy does it, but he is bouncy, and I'm telling you, I watched him do some things this summer.
Okay.
Yeah, the fact that we got to go back to his G-League Ignite highlights is this is what's concerning about the dunk contest still.
I'm gonna take a different approach with this. I'm excited for these young guys to have an opportunity to be in the dunk contest. You know, you live your whole life. You look at All-Star Weekend when you're a young kid playing AAU, playing high school basketball, and you're like, I want to be one of those guys. Now you have an opportunity, and I would hate for it to be rained on by everybody saying, well, what about this? What coulda, shoulda? At the end of the day, these guys don't want to participate in these activities. The young guys do. So with that, I'm excited for them to be able to be on a national stage, be able to be on a big stage. You know, like these two guys, if you're not familiar with them, this is an opportunity to get familiar with them. So I'm excited for them having an opportunity.
I'm with you, Lou.
I'm just tired of
I don't want to
complaining about the guys that don't want to be. If you don't want to be involved, let's just get rid of the whole weekend. If not, let's celebrate the guys who are willing to be participants.
And and
shout out to these young guys.
Yeah, and I just think this is what's going to happen. Like these are the type of players, these are the type of young guys that are going to have to do it. Unless you sit there and you say, all right, let's pay those other guys, those superstars, $1 million, $2 million each to do it. These are going to be the type of players, which is great because they are not household names yet. The dunk contest can possibly put them in that conversation.
I know, I don't want to hurt people's feelings, too. Like, I feel like that's sort of what happens because the debate already starts. How do we fix this? This kill it. It's not worth it. Well, this is a dream.
I had a conversation with D-Wade yesterday, and he made me understand and realize what we were missing as fans that goes on to All-Star Weekend. It's so much work. It's so many obligations that you have to have when you're an All-Star. By the time you get to the game, you're cooked, you're fried. You know, you get into the arena at 3 o'clock for an 8 o'clock game. From 3 to 7:30, you have obligations, whether it's pictures, interactions with fans, autograph sessions, all of these things. He was basically saying, let's get back to it being a game. Let's, on Sundays, allow us to come in, prepare for it like a game, and you may get a different result from it. Until then, it's business as usual. That's the part that needs to change. And it made sense to me. I think we were looking at it from a fan standpoint. He gave me the perspective of, hey, this is something that I've been involved in and participated in over a decade worth of time. These are the obligations, and this is why there is a disconnect between what happens in the game and what do you guys see when it comes on TV.
So an 8 o'clock game, they'd 5:36.
Let us come in and prepare for it like a regular game.
Okay.
You know, allow us to do all
so early? Pictures? Like, what are they doing?
Well,
pictures,
that's the
autograph
problem,
sessions.
All-Star Weekend.
You got
Do the other stuff. Yeah, you got a whole weekend.
It's just exhausting, right? Like, you know, like you want to do it for your first time when you're a rookie,
right?
When you're your second year, when you haven't been before. It is a cool thing to go do. It's one of those things, you do it once, though, you don't really need to do it again.
It does seem like a small ask.
It's exhausting. It's a money grab. Players go there to make money and do appearances and host parties.
And think about how many corporate partners these guys have now. Yeah. You know, back in the day, it was just Michael Jordan and Nike. Now everybody has so many different deals. So you got to run over here to this activation, run over here to the Nike activation. You got to keep moving, and then by the time you get to the basketball part of it, you're totally exhausted.
It's tough because fans go to see the players and to see the guys, and players don't go because that's mostly what you do now instead of going to compete in the game or going to do this cool dunk contest. It's just, it turns into a work weekend when it could also just be an off week.
Right, you could be somewhere sunny and warm.
You could be in Turks and Caicos instead. You're taking pictures and, you know. And
I like the idea of making Sunday just everything you got to get done.
Like a real game, like a shoot around.
And then Sunday's a game. I don't hate that idea. It seems like a small enough ask that you can make that work. We do have a game to talk about last night, guys. Philly in Denver. 19th triple-double for Jokic. 144, 109 win. 27, 13, and 10. Hits his fourth straight. Christian Brown with 20 points. Tyrese Maxey finished with 28 and 10. This is the third straight win for the Nuggets. 7 of their last 8. They're 27 and 16, which right now is good enough for fourth, but a game and a half behind the Rockets in that 2 spot. Go ahead, Lou. Let's look into the future. Do they actually, when it's all said and done, are they in the 2 spot behind OKC?
They got a chance. You know, they got a shot. Anytime you got Jokic playing at this level and you're getting this great production out of Russell Westbrook and things are starting to fall into place, Christian Braun is having some good games. Like, they're starting to find their stride at the right time of the season. That's going to give them an opportunity to get to that second place, if not, you know, challenge the top. But again, you still got the Houston Rockets that are playing pretty decent basketball. Had some slippage this week in dropping a couple of games that I felt like they should have won. But other than that, I think that team stays consistent. It won't be as easy as it sounds, but it's not an outlandish thing to think that they could possibly finish second behind the Thunder.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance, and they're starting to find the rhythm, and you know what you get from Jokic night in, night out. Jamal Murray's kind of been that second. What version are we going to get? But when you start getting 20 from Christian Braun, you start getting 23 from Strouder last night, and you start getting production from these other guys that they haven't before, that's when this team gets dangerous. And we know how good they've been with Russ in the starting lineup. We know they've been tweaking their rotations. Aaron Gordon's been coming off the bench last night. So, like, Malone is not scared to tweak the rotations, change up everything, and he's doing a great job doing that. So, yeah, I do think they have a chance to get all the way to 2 seed, which is crazy because rewind a month ago, everyone was, this team's, the window's closed, they're broken. And I still do think they could take a look at, you know, getting off Michael Porter and bringing in another third player to play alongside Jamal and Jokic. But as is, I still think this team could finish in the 2.
There was a rare moment, too. Jokic talked about himself, like, positively. He's like, I think I'm playing the best basketball of my career. For Jokic to say that, that's kind of a big deal.
Scary.
I know. I'm like, okay. Philly, though, got to look at the other side for a second. That's their 7th straight loss. They're 15. We know. They're 15 and 27 on the season. The light at the end of the tunnel is maybe, like, this big at this point. So, big hopes. Horrible disaster so far. In the history of the league, where's this ranking? Because it's a big one.
It's not good. It's not a good situation. And I guess the only light is that it's been mainly injuries, right? So, but that's something that they've just learned to deal with. Joel Embiid. PG was in and out. Jared McCain came out of nowhere as the favorite for Rookie of the Year. He then, you know, has surgery. He's out for the season. So at least it's not like Phoenix where they're kind of healthy. They've had some guys banged up. Beal and KD have missed 10+ games, but they're healthy in losing games. At least the Sixers can say, you know what, this season was just a disaster with injuries. We could never get right. But there's still hope that if we can figure out this team to finally get healthy, which, again, is a big if, and I don't think it's going to happen this year. Other than that, it's pretty much a disaster. This is a team that we were talking about, home court advantage, possible contender to compete with the Celtics this year.
Oh, my.
They're not even close. They're not even in the same conversation.
This year, it's like 2 months ago.
Yeah, it's tough. So it's been disappointing, but at least you can say it's injuries mainly, not like production.
But the injuries don't have an end in sight.
And they're not, they're not getting fixed anytime soon.
No, it's not. Let's play a little build it or blow it up, shall we? The 4 worst teams, Wizards, Raptors, Blazers, Nets, all played last night. 4 of the 7 worst records in the league.
This will be fun.
This will be fun, Chandler, and you're going to kick things off. We're going to start with the Wizards. 6 and 36. Oh, that hurts my heart. They are led by Jordan Poole. They got a couple of rookies in the starting lineup. Nice. Kyle Kuzma, Valanciunas have been in trade talks the entire year so far. Build it or blow it up.
Get my boy Valanciunas out of there.
I lost my bike.
Well, you might have been auditioning last night.
Blow it up, blow it up, blow it up, blow it up. And I love Leonis, the owner. His son is actually a very good friend of mine. Teams will want Jonas, and teams will want Kuzma. So at least they have some assets that they can get off of, and they can continue to build around this young core. They have young pieces they can continue to develop, but they have to blow it up. This team is not ready. They won't be good for years to come. They have to make some drastic changes, but guys like Kuzma and Jonas are valuable assets that I think other good teams would want.
Okay, so that's a bad one.
Blow it up.
Lou, do you have anything different to say to that?
Nope.
I can't imagine you would. What else is there different to say to that? Okay, Raptors. Third worst record in the league, 11-32. Led in scoring by R.J. Barrett. They gave Scottie Barnes a max extension. He was untouchable.
Third worst record in the league?
Yeah. Are you surprised by that?
I am.
Because they've had it, you know why? Because as of late, there's some spark there. Build it or blow it up?
I say build it. You got some really good pieces in R.J. Barrett, and y'all are crazy.
We're just trying to make magic happen.
I appreciate it. I say build it up. You got really good pieces in R.J. Barrett, Scottie Barnes, Emmanuel Quickly. Those are the guys that you can build around, really young guys. Go find you a point guard of the future. Find your center of the future. Start building around. See if you can get some vets to cross the border, come over there and play with you guys out in Canada, and then you can build from there. But I really like some of these young pieces they have. I don't think you blow it up quite yet. You know, I think they flirted with it when they had Dennis Schroeder out there trying to just find somebody who can man this ship for this team. But I feel like they have really, really good pieces for the future. So don't blow it up quite yet. Maybe they're a year out. Let's revisit that conversation next season. But right now, we build it up.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I'm surprised at their record, because they do have a nice young core with Barnes and Barrett and Quickly and Dick. And those pieces that you mentioned, those are good. Think about Podol, a good team would like. Bruce Brown, a good team would like. Olenek,
who's trade talks a lot.
I'm saying, so they have a good young core, and they have other assets that other teams around the league are probably looking at, like, okay, this guy can make our team better. So I don't think they're panicking at all. If you do happen to have a horrible rest of this season, you can sneak in that top three and you can get Harper or Ace Bailey or Cooper Flagg, then they're really cooking. But there's no reason with that core this team can't be in the mix for the playoffs next year. Keep it together.
Nets, sixth worst team, 14-30. Look, we already know Schroeder, Dorian Finney-Smith are out. There have been a lot of talk around Cam Johnson, a lot of trade rumor talking there. Build it or blow it up, Chandler. God, I feel like we do this every season.
Blow it up. And listen, at least you have New York City for free agencies for your pitch meetings, but there's not one player on this team that's untouchable. They are in a real pickle here. And you don't hire a Jordy Fernandez type coach to win right now. He is a rebuilding type developing coach who's young, can grow with his team. So that alone told me that they're trying not to win right now. And they don't care to win right now. It's all about development. Blow it up. Everyone can go. Yard sale.
Yard sale. You agree, Lou?
I agree.
God, that's depressing. Blazers, seventh worst team in the league, 15-28. So that record, Anthony Simons, third-year guard Shaedon Sharpe. Talked a little bit about him earlier. Maybe that was off screen. It's been a disappointment all around, but trade rumors are there as well. Should the Blazers build it or blow it up? Lou?
I would like to see them build it up, but it looks like they're going to blow it up. I think they're getting impatient with some of their young talent, and it just looks like it's a bad mix of young guys. You know, Robert Williams have been in trade talks. That's somebody that can help them win games, but he's probably not going to be there after February. DeAndre Ayton is another guy that can help them. He's also in trade talks. Looks like he's not going to be there in February. As far as their guard play, Anthony Simons is a guy that you can build around. Shaedon Sharpe is a guy that you can build around. It'd be great to see Scoot Henderson join the party at some point, former second overall pick. He's somebody that they had high hopes for. I still believe in his abilities. I just think it's taking him a little longer. So those are pieces that you can build around, but it looked like they're not patient enough. So if they're not patient, why am I? Blow it up.
I like that.
Yeah, I agree. I think you can build this team up while also kind of blowing it up, if that makes sense. Like, I think Jeremy Grant has no business being on this team right now, right? Okay. He's a guy that can be an actual factor on a contending team right now. But they do have young guards like Simon, Scoot Henderson, who we've yet to see his best basketball, and Shaedon Sharpe, who I love. Outside of those three, the kid from Israel, Denny, Chauncey Billups is saying he's the best player on their team in training camp. The dude's averaging 14-6. I think he's an asset. Ayton's obviously talented. He had his issues in Phoenix, so he's obviously an asset. And Jeremy Grant, I think he's the #1 guy that should go. But they have something. They have a young core at least, but they can blow up everything else.
Patience is so hard because when you say all this, we have this conversation. It's still.
I think they're in a better
season.
situation than the Wizards and the Nets for sure. But
The Nets thing blows my mind. Like, how is this not working? It's Brooklyn. This should be better by now. But it's not. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, he's back. Rajon Rondo joins the show. Woohoo!
there he is.
Run it up, the running back, yeah, yeah. Run it up, run it back.
Shine like a Rondo.
Rajon Rondo, that's what I'm talking about.
Just for the record, I'm breaking it, breaking it. I did it when they said that it can't be done.
Wow, what a pass.
Champion, yeah.
Well, that's just fun. He's back. Rajon Rondo, 2-time champ, 4-time All-Star. Thank you, by the way, for joining us again. By the way, last time since we had you on, Doc Rivers somehow convinced you to come hang out, guest coach at training camp. Things go from there. First experience was what?
Amazing. He threw me right in the fire. I actually got to call a play set for all 3 units. And like I said, just not even knowing. But I always prep and practice for anything. And I think I did a great job. But other than that, it's been a fun experience. Just coming in, being a sponge, learning as much as possible. And also the coaching staff, them allowing me to come in and kind of be myself. It's been a great experience.
So how does that work? Because guest coach is different. Do you just go occasionally? Like, what are the expectations for you?
Yeah, right now I'm fortunate I can kind of make my own schedule, and I base it around my kids' schedule. My son's playing, full-time high school basketball now, and then my daughter's her last year in high school volleyball as well. So when they're not playing, I'm usually with the Bucks, and that's every so often. Try to get there at least twice a month, but it just depends on the schedule.
And what does that mean when they win the whole thing in Vegas? I'm not trying to be an accountant here, but did you get any of that, or
Did you get the 500?
did you get some cash?
No, what I got is priceless. Just the experience, the people I was able to network with, and like I said, I'm not in it, for sake right now. Like I said, I need the knowledge and just learn as much as I can. So it'll benefit.
What a good
For
answer.
the next 15, 20 years.
The best answer.
Let me ask you this,
Not
though.
what I wanted you to say.
Let me ask you this. Now that you dipping your foot in coaching, has that made you rethink some of your interactions with coaches over the years? Like, I should have chilled a little bit.
No.
Right.
You didn't call Carla? So you know what, Coach? My bad. Now that I'm on the other side.
Nah, I don't really think that way, Lou, because I think I appreciate myself more and how I dedicated my craft and how much time I spent on damn near being a coach while I was a player. So for me, my mindset, it is a little bit different, but in the same instance, I get to see how much time actually players are putting in the work off the court as far as film work and understanding and getting better for the team. So looking back, like I said, I think I did a hell of a job as far as that aspect, but also not crossing the line, but at the same time having a good expectations for the team.
Tell me what would be your coaching style. Now that you've been able to pick up some game from Doc, you've worked with some coaches I'm sure that you would care not to ever work with ever again, but it's some guys that you rock with. What would be your personal coaching style?
For me personally, I obviously a player coach, a willing listener, come in with a great veteran staff, my initial first year, and just, continue to take it day by day, putting the work in, understanding that, as players, we put in about 3-4 hours a day and we're done in a sense, but I'm understanding that the coaching staff, it's about 6-7 hours a day. So just understanding what it takes to get to that level and being the best, putting the best foot forward. So for me, I get my practice in now on my AAU teams, as much as I'm involved with his team versus my son's, his teams in high school. So other than that, I'm just practicing as much as possible.
Yeah, Doe, I always thought I wanted to be a head coach, and then I played in the NBA, and I realized that, and no chance. Has this experience made you more or less likely to want to be a head coach in the NBA?
Head coach, and I want to do some front office work as well. I don't want to box myself in, but I feel like, everything I've ever put my mind to, I'm able to accomplish. And I've tried to surround myself with the right people as far as knowledge and understanding how to get to that level and just educate myself in every department I can.
I think you'd be a hell of a coach. I'm pulling for you.
Appreciate it. I'm learning patience. My bad. But I'm learning patience through my, just the kids I'm working with AAU-wise, my own kids. So I think a lot of people compare me in some instances to Magic as far as the intellect of the game and not having enough patience to coach, individuals at that level. But everything in life is a challenge. And I think I'm willing to accept it and try to figure out, that angle and try to be great at that.
Nothing tries your patience than coaching AAU kids. I'm on the women's side, man. So nothing tries your patience more than that, for sure.
like that.
But I always think like
the parents.
Parents, oh my God, that's a whole nother episode.
Like we talk about like as a player, like I used to hate like tape shoot arounds, or I used to hate all the events we had to do. Like, is there something that as a player that you couldn't stand that you're like, all right, there's no way if I'm a head coach one day that we're doing that shit?
I would say, I don't even know if tape shoot-arounds are even allowed anymore.
I don't think it's legal anymore.
Right. So for me, those I used to hate those mornings, but I said I was fortunate. I had some great coaches that didn't even, we didn't even get taped, in my career, but others we did. So I'll probably absolutely agree with you on that one. Other than that, no, not really.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I'm always trying to just talk to my leaders on the team, and then, like I said, hire a great staff. That's the biggest piece, and be a listener.
Got to talk a little Giannis here, because obviously watching, he's physically dominant. But have you learned anything about him now that you're around that perhaps maybe doesn't translate when we're just watching games?
How much he takes, I think, accountability. I don't know if that, he's always talking about, or a lot of guys put their hands up in that nature or my faults. But no, he takes a lot of accountability and he wants to win. When they don't win, he takes it damn near the hardest. And he's trying to figure out ways to figure out how to get the W done. So.
I like that. A lot of people, Prime Shaq, obviously, when you think of physical dominance over the years, where do you put Giannis as far as, like, the guys in this league that have sort of had the skills and the traits that he has?
I mean, he's one of one. I mean, like I said, he's his own person. He's his own identity as far as something that we've never seen in our game before. I think he is more dominant in the paint-wise than Shaq. Obviously the times are different. And I'm not, I don't want to go at it with Shaq or anything, but I'm just saying numbers-wise. I think his percentages are greater, and I think he's scored, maybe more points in the paint. Like I said, the game is different, but he's unstoppable. Like I said, just being able to dominate in certain areas, I'll tell the young guys, I'm like, you don't have to be great everywhere, but if you can be your special talent and what you do best and own it and master it, and like I said, you'll find a way to carve a niche and be effective on the court.
Joe, let's go back to your playing career a little bit. When you told a story about Danny Ainge during those 2008 finals against the Lakers that basically demanded you shoot the ball more, and you ended up doing that, and Game 6 was a decisive win. You went off. Did you ever think like I can be doing more of this, or was it in your hearts and your game just to be like a pure point guard? Because I see the difference nowadays in point guards. Most of them are scoring point guards. It's rare that you see like a pure point guard these days. Was that just always your calling, or do you kind of look back and be like, damn, I could have been a bucket too?
No, like I said, we all, for sure, if you can go back even high school, like I said, I was averaging, damn near 28 points a game in high school. So it's like we have that nature, but for me, being able to be a pass-first guard, being able to manipulate the game in a different fashion, and understanding that the ball gives everyone energy. And if I'm able to facilitate that, give it to my teammates, I can tell them to go run through a wall for me, figuratively speaking. So when you give a guy a ball, like I said, they're more willing to listen. If a guy run up down the court 4 or 5 times and hasn't touched it, the energy isn't the same. He probably doesn't get through that pick and roll even harder now. So it's like just those little things for me. Being a quarterback, being a pitcher, I was always taught to being selfish and figure out ways to improve your teammates. So that kind of just came natural for me, and I love to take that challenge on. Even when I played against, I played with Denver, I'm sure, with 15 to 20 All-Star or Hall of Famers. And what I pride myself on was making their job a lot easier. Just getting them easier buckets, getting that field goal percentage higher. So just playing games within the game, that's what I love to do.
Yeah, because you talked about the depth of the pure point guard. But where the game is now, do you see an opportunity for it to get back to where pure point guards exist?
It's hard to say that because, now there's so much random basketball, so you don't necessarily have to, manage the game as much until the fourth quarter. Back and obviously when there was less possession when I played.
It's just free-flowing now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just free-flowing, yeah, so you don't have to understand. But then times you do have a team where you have your big threes or you got your guys that a couple of different 3 All-Stars on the team to where I feel like point guards can mitigate a lot of the problems if they're able to dedicate the ball to each one and make sure everybody's cool versus, hitting the media or depending solely on the coach. Because the coaches only do so much. You can call your sets and plays, but the ball's going to go where it goes. But also the new game of shooting within the first 6 seconds of the shot clock. I think I've seen one kid for the Lakers come down and shoot a, 1-on-3
oh, yeah.
trade. It's like, So it's like, if it's a point guard, you know, back in the day, I'm cussing you out if you shoot that shot. But now it's like, you know, do you overcoach that, or you know, how do you handle that? So each game is different. Every personnel is different. So for me, there's not a lot of pure point guards left, but that's just the way the game has gone. But I don't think it's a lost art as far as what it can get back to.
Put your coach's hat on for me for a second. So if you can pick one of these young guards that's close as possible to a pure point guard, which one of these young guys would you build your team around?
You say young guy.
Well, give me a pure point guard, anything.
No, I got you. Okay, young guy. A young guy. I got to go with young. I mean, there's a lot of great young talent. I mean, obviously you can't.
It's not a lot of pure point guards out there. A lot of these point guards now, hybrids. They really scoring guards. Like, I love Cade Cunningham, but
Cade Cunningham,
Right,
Halliburton's
so
kind of a pure point guard type.
Yeah, I feel like if I can get a Cade to understand how to manage the game, because again, he's a 3-level scorer. He can manipulate the game on on both ends of the floor. So for me, if I can get my hands on a Cade Cunningham, JB's done a hell of a job down there, in the year he's in now. But I think he could become that one type of point guard. Like I said, it's only a couple of tweaks, and then it's about personnel. Because again, if he has to be the man and he has to get 30, then that's what he has to do. But then if he had maybe 2 more superstars in the game, he wouldn't have to manage and go get 30 every night.
Absolutely.
And you look at Maxey, Brunson, these guys are all pretty much score first guard. Dame Lillard.
But like you said, that's what's needed.
Right.
That's what's needed with the positions that they in.
Doe, 2020 Lakers championship versus 2008 Celtics championship. You said that the Lakers championship meant more because it was in the bubble and you were with your son. How much shit did KG and those guys give you? When you said that.
Now that we all have kids, I think they understand. It's not that it meant more from a sentimental point, and something I obviously remember more with my kids. And like I said, if you have kids, you understand. So for me, at a young age, when I was with the Celtics, I'm thinking, this is about to be my new normal. I thought we had a hell of a time in the team that we can run it back to back with. And in a sense, I kind of took it for granted when I was that young. But understanding it took me, I think, 12 years later to get one, appreciating it 10 times more, and also being able to have that experience with, like I said, with my son. So it's just different values, but obviously the Celtic one got me to where I am, my career off the start. So that'll always be the first.
Are those relationships still special because of that? Because you go through a championship and they mean more. Like, I never won a championship. I never had that experience with those certain teammates, and I'm still close with certain guys. Is the relationship today still just as strong, or did that kind of fizzle out once you guys retire and start doing your own thing?
It's not necessarily they fizzle out. Like I said, I don't need to talk to my best friend every day. I don't talk to Josh at all every day, but that's that's my dog. So as men, we kind of go at different ways about it. But for me, when I see everybody, it's always love. We all have lives and different families we're catching up with, and still creating our own path after basketball. But every time we see one of them, like I said, I'm gonna try to figure out how to get this reunion going. It's about that time. I actually got to chop it with Ray at the Emirates Cup. So. Yeah, stay tuned.
I like that. We've had basically any guest that comes on of a certain age. KG is the top of the totem pole in the trash talking department. So we can't get enough of the stories. No one seems to even come close to him. Do you have a KG trash talk story that comes to mind?
That comes to mind. I mean, playing or not playing? I mean, he's still talking.
Either way, really.
Hey, Doe. KG records downstairs and we record upstairs, and you can hear him through the walls. Lord, that's all you hear through the walls.
Yeah, I'll be back out there soon. But nothing I can really specifically stand out and I can think about. I mean, he's a character 7 days a week. I mean, he's always into it. Me and him have actually almost got into a physical altercation one time. We was animated on the court, but he's like I said, he's always one of my favorite teammates of all time, and like a big brother to me still to this day. So I don't have anything I can think of.
Doe, I got to ask you about this whole Jimmy Butler drama. You played with him for one season in Chicago. What was just that experience like, and what do you make of everything that's going on with him now? Last night he wears the Phoenix Suns colored shoes. He does the hair a certain color. He's doing a lot right now. You didn't see that? He literally had on orange and purple shoes last night playing for the Heat, which was wild. What do you make of what's going on? Is this is just petty to the max? This is a nasty breakup? Like, what is this?
I would say this is a ugly divorce. I mean, and we're witnessing it all on Front Street. Obviously, both sides aren't happy. you know, we've never seen it to this extreme. You know, like I said, where guys are wearing different, you know, shoes that you want to go to with the hair and everything. So, I mean, Jimmy's being Jimmy. You know, we're all different. We all have our own opinions of how we go about things, and you know, we live life and learn through experiences. So, that's my dog. I ain't gonna shoot him down. You know, like I said, he's doing him, and again, hopefully he finds a place where he's happy and he wants to, you know, play the game at a high level again. You know, same thing I told. I actually texted Russ a couple weeks ago. Just told him I'm happy that he feels like he's back to playing good basketball and having fun. So.
Absolutely, absolutely. And speaking of having fun, man, at the start of the season, you spoke about the Boston Celtics and how they were changing the game with their three-point shooting. Now that we're starting to get into the season, do you think this is good or bad for the game? And my personal opinion is, I love the three-point shooting. My problem is with analytics, it's a lot of guys shooting that shouldn't be shooting. Do you think that's good or bad for the game?
I think it's bad, man. I mean, like I said, I was just talking about it. It was actually Dalton Connect that shot the three I was thinking about with the Lakers. I mean, like they were out playing Phoenix, and he's on a break by himself, and he's three defenders back, and he pulls up, and it's like, I get it. You can make that shot. Analytics say maybe, like, I don't get that. But to me, you know, I wouldn't allow that to happen in a sense. You know what I mean? Like I said, not to knock anybody else that's doing what they're doing, but for me, we got to get a better shot than that. 1-on-3, three ball, you know, that's just taking away the game. And like I said, and again, as an offensive player, like, I don't want to run down the court and then you shoot a shot like that, and then it sucks the energy out from me defensively. So it's like, it's just those things carry over there where it's like, why even watch it, or why would I even, you know, play as hard as I need to play if we're just all we're going to do is just jack threes? Like, play the game. You know, I'm a big believer in analytics, but to a certain extent, like, you got to play the game the right way.
Facts.
What's crazy, though, is I went to a practice one time, and they do the three-man weave, classic drill. No one goes for the layups. They all go to layups.
Really?
It's three-pointers now.
So this is what's being taught. This is what's
4-15.
being drilled in their head. All three guys
Yes.
go to the three-point line, shoot 3 threes.
Can you
And
unprogram
it's going
it?
down, though.
Okay.
I mean, this is high school. This is middle school. This is the way, like,
Wow.
kids are, like, just destroying it. So.
We have to, like, reprogram the whole way of thinking. I don't know how you do that at the ground level. Superstitions, and this goes for you two as well, like game day superstitions. The showering of 5 times a day. If you didn't shower 5 times a day, does it throw off everything?
You shower 5 times a day.
5 times a day?
No, you
On
didn't.
game
Stop.
days.
On game days, guys.
Come on, dog.
For what?
Come on, though. 5 times?
I mean, you wake up, I shower.
Morning.
We went through this.
Okay.
Okay, go to shoot around, shower.
Shower after.
Wake up, take a nap. I'm gonna take my nap.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna shower, get up, I gotta wait to get up. Then I go play the game. I mean, not fact, I gotta warm up, right?
Yeah.
40 minutes on the clock,
Where's
I take
the
a shower,
You
and then I
tripping,
shower after
dog.
the game.
That was back.
That's a one of mine was I did
water
everything
bill.
on the right side first, like my right sock, right shoe to
Really?
get off on the right foot.
Oh, okay.
But 5 showers though,
5 showers is legit.
like two of them are necessary.
That's crazy.
That's a lot of, yeah. But do you have none?
You know, like if I
I
like.
take a 2-hour nap, man. I gotta wake up from my
Yeah.
nap.
I get that one.
I
'cause
always
you-
took a
Oh,
nap.
cool.
Yeah, wake
okay,
up.
the wake up shower, we probably could eliminate that one. You on your way to shoot around, you gonna sweat at the shoot around. We can eliminate that one.
I don't know. I kind of like. All right.
I like the. I like the. I don't know. That's just how I'm.
That's
I
your,
like to be
yeah,
fresh,
it's
you
your,
know?
it's your superstition.
How many times you shower a day now that you're retired? You still getting a good 5?
Twice, like 2.
Twice. That's a
2,
lot.
I'm back.
God, go days without
not a
showering.
lot.
Are you kidding me?
So 2 is appropriate.
2 a day?
2 is appropriate.
2
I
is
don't think so.
appropriate.
I think
yeah.
It's like 1 a day. Okay, I'm gross. I guess I'm gross.
Are you working out?
Yeah, but after I work out. All right, you know what?
That's it.
Too much. By the way, shout out to the animal crackers in the background. I can't stop staring at those. I'm obsessed. Rajon, thank you so much.
Appreciate it,
We'll
bro.
talk
Appreciate
soon.
it, Brody.
Appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate y'all.
Run it back, yeah.
Good Lord, we're gonna get fired. You buying that? It's an all Scottie, i.e. Pippen version. Actually, why? He said, senior, Michael Jordan would still be better than LeBron if they switched eras. Now we're talking, Lou. You buying that? Here we go.
Man, this is a set up.
He said it.
This is
He
a
said it.
lose-lose if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, I'm Scotty. Oh, wow.
I'll take this one.
Oh, really?
So
Let's swap.
Here's the thing. I think me and Lou both think LeBron's the greatest player of all time. But in this era, I do think MJ would score more points. I think he would get to the free throw line more, just because. But it's not a fair argument because the game is different.
Okay,
the
I want
rules
to
are
jump in here.
different.
Okay, team.
When MJ played, you literally couldn't double in the post.
That's also true. That's
a big rule
I just think
change.
he would get to the free throw line.
Because you're on an island with the best player in the world.
He'd get to the free throw like 25 times a game nowadays. But like also LeBron is also physical and strong enough to be just as good back in that era. So this is a trap.
It's a trap. It's a trap.
It's a trap game.
I'm not going viral today.
This is
Guys, it's an all Scottie.
How about this? You switch them in eras, they're still 1 and 2.
Okay. All right. Well, there's another one, Chandler. And you're up first on this one, and it's not going to get better. He also said that he would put his career over LeBron's because he has 6 rings and he didn't chase his.
Oh, I ain't buying that.
Are you buying that?
Go ahead, though, Chandler.
Go ahead.
I'm not buying that. The roles were different. The same way that Scottie said that MJ would still be a better player than LeBron, you still had Michael Jordan. You still had that guy. Now, I'm not diminishing anything that Scottie Pippen contributed. Obviously, he was a major factor in all 6 of those rings, but his role is different compared to what LeBron's role is in his 4 championships. So, no, I'm not buying that.
Can I interest you in an addition to the statement that he also made?
Oh, boy.
He also said he would have gotten the 6 rings without Michael Jordan. You buying that?
I'll take this one.
Okay.
No, I'm not buying that.
Fair
I think
enough.
we're talking about Michael Jordan here. And they were good. The 1 year he left, and they were good. They didn't win a championship. And no, I disagree with this wholeheartedly. Who knows what they would have got instead of Michael Jordan? Now, I don't know if we're playing that, like if they had another player versus him. But no, I don't think anybody other than Scottie Pippen would buy that he would have 6 rings without arguably the greatest player of all time.
I mean, he had an opportunity. He had opportunities. And he did get to the doorstep a couple of times. Like, they were a highly competitive team in Portland. By the time he got to Houston, it was a little at the end, but he didn't get it done, and they had a ton of talent. So, I mean, we saw it. So I'm not buying it.
Okay, not buying that. How about this last one? He said that Magic is a bigger GOAT than anybody because of how he led. He won both as a rookie when he had to play center and continued to do so without Kareem. Are you buying Magic as the GOAT? We never get this one.
Listen, I can buy that, especially like Magic Johnson is still a champion to this day. He's still impacting winning with the Los Angeles Dodgers, what he's been able to add to the Washington Commanders. Like, wherever this guy goes, he wins, and he changes culture. So I'm buying that. Everything that Magic Johnson has been able to do on the court, off the court, as a businessman, as an entrepreneur, all wins across the board. I'm buying it. Scottie, I agree with you on this one.
Okay.
I can make the argument. I don't agree with it. I think LeBron, I think Michael Jordan, I think there's other guys that are on this list that I would rank higher than Magic Johnson, but the Kareems, the Wilts, the Bill Russells, those guys are also multiple champion MVPs, but yeah, Magic Johnson's up there. This is one of the guys that I was talking about when I did the whole Kobe thing, that I'd probably rank Magic Johnson over Kobe Bryant.
Don't do this again. We're not going to do that again.
I'm just saying so yes, I agree. So
do we start spelling it SCOTTY? Because now that we know the truth, like, it feels a little weird to keep writing IE. And this is going to bug me for the rest of my life.
I don't even know which way is right and which way is wrong.
Y is his actual name. Y. Anywho, quick break. Run it back when we come back. It's going to bug me for the rest of my life. We're ending with a big one here because the Scottie Pippen quotes kept coming. We can't end without this one. He also said that it was Charles Barkley's fault that they didn't win a ring down in Houston because he wanted to enjoy his nightlife and wouldn't get up in the morning to train. Dear Lord, it goes on. Chandler, are you buying that it's Charles's fault? I'm
not buying it, but this feels a little personal, honestly. This feels like a jab years later. And listen, a lot of guys enjoy themselves, and as long as you can do that at night and wake up the next morning and be there for workouts and not be late, I got no problem with it. A lot of my teammates did it. I did it.
Keep the quotes coming, Scottie.
Please do.
Keep them coming, because we
come on the show,
love to hear the history of why things didn't pan out or why they did pan out. We love history. Keep them coming.
Come hang out with us, Scottie. We've got the time.
Please stop
we'll be
by
back
running
tomorrow.
back.
Darius Garland.
Running back.
Yeah.
Run it up. Running back. Yeah. Run it up.